Hello, friends. This is Scott. And this was approximately a week ago. We had three storms roll through the area, dumping lots of rain at the hobby farm. And this was a nice electrical storm. I got a few shots of some of the lightning. Not the greatest photography in the world, but you can just see as the storm moved farther to the east, it was just lighting up the sky. Yeah, it was kind of a quick storm, kind of cruised through and created a little bit of a power outage for a couple hours. But yeah, all's better. And the real story of this video is, after the storm passed, is to look at the peas. And we're going to pick some sweet peas today. I've been trying to grow sweet peas for many, many years in my Salt Lake home, and generally do not have much success because the small birds tend to eat the pea plants while they're a few inches tall. So down here, the birds aren't, I guess, educated about what peas are, and the deer never got to these. So this big bed of peas I planted that I neglected to trellis, looking pretty good, and we're loaded with peas. So I had to get my favorite Home Depot bucket for its other use. Is instead of carrying dirt, it's my seat of choice. So yeah, I just got to decide how many of these I'm going to pick today. Now, they're not all ripe. The very first picking have a little bit of shady areas, so the ones where I'm at tend to be more in the sun for longer. So I'll have succession kind of picking here for the next couple weeks. And so I picked several bags of peas. Had a great harvest. Again, I wish I would have trellised them because it would have made life a lot easier finding the peas, but yeah, you just have to take your time and find them. And they're so good that you're going to take the time to find them, because there's nothing better than a fresh pea in the garden. And this is what I did most of the time. Was a lot of them don't make it to the house because I always got to have a little bit of a snack as I'm cruising along here. But yeah, I picked a nice bag of peas, and again, that was the first bag, and I think I picked 2 or 3 subsequent bags of peas and shared them with friends and family. And so we got a few more pickings, I think, before they're all said and done. But these are not the Asian ones you'd find in a stir fry. These are the ones you actually shell, the shell peas, but they are tasty. And looking here at the radishes, I just planted one variety of radish, was the French breakfast radish, and those were looking good. So I decided it was time to pull those out. And again, these were in full sun, so they actually took about 28 days to mature, which in my garden in Salt Lake with the shade, I was never getting them that quick. But yeah, I started to test a few and pull a few out here and there. And then I kind of made the decision that it was probably worth it just to pull them all out and see how many I got here, because if I don't do it, they're going to get woody. And if I'm gone for a few days and come back, I'll probably waste some of this harvest. So yeah, I decided to get in here and just go ahead and pull them. And again, I'm being a little selective to start with, but then I decided I'm not going to be selective. I'm just going to yank them all out and see what we can do. Now, radishes are one of those crops that you don't need much. I always overplant radishes because I don't eat that many salads, and I do like them just with salt. And but when you plant this many radishes, you get a little tired of them. So yeah, you don't need a big radish patch unless you really, really love radishes. But Mr. Lakin was with me, and here's the harvest. And I'll give you a little bit better look when they're getting cleaned up here. But yeah, I took a knife out to the garden and cut up all the tops. I wish the chickens were down here because I would have fed them to the chickens. But there's a look at the radishes that I have to take in the house. But we have some other things that are going to be coming on in the near future. We got some crickneck squash. Kale is ready to go. If I want to make kale chips or make salads or whatever, or soups, I can grab the kale right now. Broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage is just getting started. We do have one broccoli there. That's going to be bulking up here soon, and that'll be something we pick in the near future. There we go. It's a little closer look at that little broccoli head. Now, the red and white potatoes are doing wonderfully. There's a grasshopper. The dread grasshoppers are here. Not too many of them, though, so there's a close-up look at the enemy. But the potatoes, as it hops off, the potatoes haven't flowered yet. They're getting ready, but they haven't even flowered. So we should have a really good red and white potato harvest, I think. So yeah, we'll see. But they look good. I've got them held up pretty good. Started to use some grass clippings to hill them up. So that's why that area there looks a little bit sparse, but because I piled in grass clippings. Now the onions are falling all over themselves. So I don't think I'm going to have the greatest onion crop in the world, but there's some decent-sized ones in here. And I'll grab a red one here just to show you. So they're growing, and we'll see how big they get. But that's a nice onion. I've never had that much success with red onions, but yeah, if they get a little bit bigger than that, I'll be smiling, because that's pretty much what I get on red onions. Now the garlic is Looks like it's almost ready to harvest. And we're going to pull one, test one out on the edge and see what it looks like. And here we go. And it's not quite ready. It's a nice head of garlic, but the cloves have not fully developed yet. So I think I'm going to wait a week or two to pull these, let them get a little bit more. Now here's one though, that was a smaller little garlic that was one of the volunteers that was in the peas that I transplanted. But it's a perfect little head of garlic. Very developed cloves for a small head. Now the bush green beans, they did very well. They germinated well and should have lots of green beans, so I'm excited about that. The sweet peas, or excuse me, the sweet potatoes are doing okay. They haven't done much yet, but they'll as soon as they get established, they'll just take off. My winter squash is getting shaded too much, so I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this, but I really need to do some major tree pruning, but I've got too many other things to do right now, so we're going to get what we get. That's all I can say. The corn seed was not very good seed, I don't think. The germination was pretty poor. Again, corn is an air pollinated or wind pollinated crop, and you need to have solid rows, and with as many gaps as I have, I don't think my pollination is going to be that great. My tomatoes are doing wonderfully. I got that area all weeded and mulched in, so they haven't produced yet, but they will in the near future. But again, we're creating a hobby farm down here, and we're actually getting some food, and it's pretty tasty actually. So looking forward to the rest of the summer eating out of the garden while I'm working on doing other projects down here. Well, stay tuned. We'll have other crops growing in the very near future. We'll be picking and harvesting those, as well as we'll continue on with the peas. And next up will be garlic, probably. I think I need to get those out of the ground. But anyway, the cardboard you see there, I'm trying to sprout some radishes under cardboard seed. We'll see how that experiment works. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.